Good afternoon, students. Today we will discuss about the construction and working of synchronous generator or the alternator. It is the part of our unit fourth. So, in this introduction, because we have discussed the three-phase induction motor, now we are discussing about the synchronous generator, which is the three-phase. We can say here we are discussing about the three-phase. So the machine which produce three-phase power from mechanical power is called a synchronous generator, and we also call it as a alternator. The alternating works on the same fundamental principle of electromagnetic induction. It means when the flux linkage a conductor changes, then EMF is induced in that conductor. That is the meaning of this. So in the synchronous generator, has armature binding or a field binding, where the armature is the stationary part and the field, which we call is the pole, is moving part. Unlike the DC generator, DC generator is not in the same situation, it is the different situation there. But here the armature uh, is the stationary part and our pole is the moving part here. Then it is the little bit difference here, and there are some reason for that. If we are taking our armature at the rotor, then when the rotor will rotate there, and we are getting the output from generator around, we can take 11 kV or 33 kV. So that particular high voltage, if we are taking at the rotor, that condition, there we require a lot of insulation for that, as well as there are very large heat losses there. So that's why what we are doing in the synchronous generator, in synchronous generator or field winding is a station, sorry, the our armature binding we are putting at the stator, and our field binding we are putting at the moving part. That is the reason behind this. In construction, in any alternating standard constructions, consider the armature binding, which is mounted on the stationary element called stator here, and the field binding on the rotor element. As I told you, here we are taking our armature at the stator, because in generator the production of our three phase ACs around is 11 kV or 33 kV. For that, how much and that is the very large amount of the voltage production here, and for that we have a lot of insulation, as well as there are a lot of heat losses there. And if you want to take that much load, then you require high rated slip rings there, which are very costly. So that are the regions where we are putting our armature at the stator, and our field binding we are putting the rotator, because for the field binding we are giving around voltage for 300 volt to 500 volt, and that can be very easily given by the two brushes. So that's the region in the generator we field binding is putting on the rotor, and the armature binding is putting in the stator. The frequency of output AC voltage of synchronous generator is directly proportional to the rotor speed. So to maintain the frequency constant, the rotor must always move the synchronous speed. That's why we are calling it is the synchronous generator also. So the alternator has three-phase winding on the stator and a DC field winding on the rotor. So what we have here at the stator, we are having the three-phase winding, and the field winding we are given by the DC. So that stator is nothing but it is the stationary part of machine and built up by this steel sheet steel lamination, having slots in inner periphery to put our coils for the three-phase generation here, and three-phase winding is placed in these slots and serve the armature winding of the alternator. The rotor carries the field winding, and the rotors are two type. One is the silent pole type, another is the cylinder type. So the silent pole rotor are basically used for slow and moderate speed alternators because it is the less expensive. These silent poles are made by the thick steel lamination riveted together and are fixed the rotor by the devil tail joint. The pulse phase are usually provided with the slots for the deeper binding. These deepers are useful for preventing the hunting here. The filled coils are placed on the pole pieces and connected as the series. The end of the field winding are connected to the DC source through which slip rings carry brushes and mount on the shaft of the field structure. So you can see this one is here. We are having our silent pole type rotor, and in rotor we are giving our field binding here. You see the field binding is given by here is the north pole, then south, and then north, and the eastman is the fourth pole here. These are the silent poles here, and we are doing the supply to the field binding using our DC supply, and we are using here two brushes to give the supply to these um, field binding here. So that is the our pole rotor. You can see the another is the smooth slender rotor. You can see here we have the our, and this is also called is the non-silent pole, or you can say the smooth cylindrical rotor. And you see these are the poles here. Is it okay? And these are the field binding. We are putting here the field binding. So this type of the rotor used for the high speed alternator driven by the steam turbine. Okay, and these consist of the cylindrical steel forging which is to suitable fabricated mechanically and treated thermally. Okay, so these slots are certain portion of the core are omitted from the pole faces. The region forming the poles are usually left unslotted as shown in the figure where we are showing here. These we are mentioning the slots and they're putting of the wires there. Okay. So these are the some silent features also. They are very small diameter and very long axial length, less windage losses. The speed employed is the 1000 to 3000 rpm, better in dynamic balancing and better in the operation. So now that was the all about the construction here. In construction we have two part. One is our armature binding which is stationary here. Another is our field binding which is moving here. And for that we are using the DC supply. So these all about the construction here. And now we see about the working principle of a synchronous generator. You see here the alternators are work on the principle of electromagnetic induction, and when there is a relative motion between the conductor and flux, then EMF get induced in the conductor. Okay, and the same principle is used by the DC generator also. And the difference is here, when we are talking about the alternators, then the conductors are stationary and our field is rotating. That is the difference between DC generator and the alternators, or we can say the synchronous generators. So here in this particular, in this diagram what I am explaining you, let us suppose we are considering here two pole alternator, north pole and south pole, and we are just taking one single conductor here. And then what is happening when the single conductor is rotating, the one complete rotation that we want to see here. So you see the direction of magnetic field, or you can the flux direction. Okay, and it is the when our conductor is in this place, it means the direction is like this way. Okay, so this is the direction which is parallel to our field here. And in this case, see, when it is parallel, then there is no EMF induced here, so you can see this one situation. But when we are moving in the point 2 direction, in that condition our velocity is the perpendicular of the flux direction, and that condition we have the maximum flux here, because this is given by the magnetic field and the area which is perpendicular to the given. So in this condition the maximum, so you can see from those point is becomes to. Then in the third position again you see the velocity and the field lines are parallel to each other. It means there is a zero flux here. So if the flux is zero, then induced EMF is zero. So this equation equals here. When we comes in the fourth condition, that is just opposite to this condition. But in this direction, the velocity is perpendicular to field line. So again, our flux is maximum here, but the direction is opposite. That's why the four component point comes here. And we when we comes at the point one, it means our rotation is completed here. In this condition again the velocity is parallel to the field lines, and this case there is no EMF, sorry, there is no flux here, and it means there is no EMF. So this matters. So if I am using only a single conductor here and then I see for a complete revolution the EMF induced is like this way. So it is a nothing but a sinusoidal waveform of your. So, but this example is taken only to understand the concept how the sinusoidal EMF is generated here, or we can say the AC voltage is generated here. But in practical, so what we can say in practical synchronous generator, the field magnet rotates between the stationary armature conductor. We know, so when the rotor of the alternator, it means synchronous generator, is rotating by a prime mover with the angular speed of omega radian per second, then the flux produced by the rotor will also rotate. That's okay. So this flux will also rotate by the same speed. Which speed? That is speed by the our rotor of alternator is rotating here. And because our field winding was putting on the rotor, so rotor is rotating, so the flux produced is also rotated, and it is rotated by the same speed. That's why we can say here it's rotated the synchronous speed, and that is the reason to call it is the synchronous generator here. So the magnetic flux links with all three coils of the stator, because we are here producing the three phase. So three coils of the stators here, and with the rotation of the flux, there is a continuous change in the flux linkage of all three coils, and therefore the EMF are induced in three coils which are displaced by 120-degree apart, okay, of the stator according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So that I have seen here. So if first we take the first coil which gives this one, okay, then we are taking our second coil that is having the difference is 120 here. You can say this is 120 here, and third is moving by, so this is going again 120. And if we see the respect of this, then so all are separated by 120-degree electrical angle here. So we have here, if it is the maximum here, then both are in the minimum condition. Then if it becomes minimum, then it's maximum. So the continuously we have here output. Okay, so that is the construction of three phase synchronous generator. Now the EMF equation of this. So the according to Faraday's law, the induced EMF is nothing but it is equal to the rate of change of the flux. Let us we assume here the flux per pole is phi, number of poles p, z, number of conductors in a coil connected in series with each phase, and ns is the rotor speed which is nothing but the synchronous speed, and f is the frequency of induced EMF. So in one rotation the total change in flux linkage of one conductor is given by this p number of the flux, and is the p is the number of poles, and phi is the flux. So the total becomes equal to this, and total time of one rotation is nothing but 1 upon speed this. Okay, so the average EMF per conductor is becomes equal to d phi by dt. So I put my value here dp, and this dt is given by 1 upon ns. So is this becomes equal to, and we know the relation between the synchronous speed and frequency is given by this one, ns equal to 2f by p. So I put the value of ns here, then the average EMF is per conductor is given by 2f phi. 2f is the frequency of supply and phi is the flux here. If let us suppose if there are Z conductor, or you can see the phases, we are talking about the three phase here connected in a series. Therefore, the average induced EMF is per phase, that this is given by multiplied by the Z here. Since two conductors form a coil, so the number of coils, or you can see the turn, given by the T equal to Z by 2. Okay, so in this condition we put the value of Z in this equation and we are getting 4 F, I and T volt per phase here. Okay, now we have discussed in our AC circuit that the form factor for a sinusoidal induced EMF, because here our output is the sinusoidal. So in this case, Kf is given by RMS value of voltage divided by the average value of the voltage, and it is nothing but 1.11. So the our RMS values becomes equal to 1.1 multiplied by the E average, and therefore the RMS value of induced EMF is given by this. So this becomes equal to 4.44 F and then 5 T volt per phase. Okay. So that is the formula we derived here. But for the this derivation, what we have assumed here, we assumed here the this derivation derived under the assumption of the full pitch coil under concentrated conductors. It means the all conductors of coils are in the same slot. But in practice, the stator binding is distributed with the distribution factor. The stator binding is are not in the same slot, it is distributed, so that distribution factor is the kd here, and are kept short pitched with the pitch factor kp. In this condition, our above equation is multiplied by the two factors. So therefore the short pitches distribution binding, the induced EMF is given by 4.44 f t and phi, and that multiplied by the distribution factor, and also by the short pitch sorry, the pitch factor kp, that is the induced EMF. So that all about the three phase synchronous generator here. I think you understood the basic concept and the working and principle of three phase induction, oh sorry, three phase synchronous generator. If you have any problem, then you can write a mail on sham@gwc.ac.in. Thank you.